me, the world has gone mad! And we see from her eyes the world has become distended and miscolored. Oh my God, Raven's tripping balls!
Hey! Shut up, shut up!
Shut up!
Let somebody else try for a change.
Hi everyone, welcome back to ShallowCast. I am, of course, the deviant Xander Grimm. With me, as always, is the devious one, Nathan Soros, and our newest member, the science one, Black Hole Girl, aka Hanna. The science one. She's the science one.
The science one. I'm okay with that.
All right. I feel like it's not a proper adjective, but whatever.
That doesn't matter.
Okay. We are going to have to workshop these introductions a little bit.
Yeah, well, we will. Dial and edit that out. Anyway, I wanted to preface this episode by saying, Nathan, you were actually right for
I love hearing that.
The newest time and all the times about Maleficent.
Tell me more about why I'm right.
Yeah. Well, basically, a few episodes ago, we were talking about how, I was kind of excited for Maleficent. She's my favorite villainess and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. But then as we started digging a little bit deeper into both what we knew and also during the episode we were doing a little bit more digging, we found out this movie might be kind of terrible. And it turns out that it pretty much was. It's Snape all over again. It's tragic hero backstory, and it's as we said, in Sleeping Beauty, she literally gives no fucks. She's like, "What the hell? Why didn't you guys invite me?" And then she basically tries to kill a baby. And in this one, the internet's already trying to ship them, and that's kind of creepy.
Ew.
Yeah, based on what I've read, they really drastically changed her backstory so that Maleficent knew Aurora's father when they were both children. And they were romantically interested in one another, but then he's supposed to kill her and he can't go through with it, so instead he cuts off her wings while she's sleeping. And that's why she doesn't have wings even though she's a fairy.
After he drugged her.
After he drugs her, which, that's some horrible imagery, and I don't like the implications of that at all.
Ew?
Yeah, that's super gross. So, she grows up vengeful and hateful. They have the party for his daughter. She comes to the party. Instead of cursing Aurora to die on her 16th birthday, she curses her to fall into a sleep-like death. And then, as Aurora grows up, Maleficent kind of stalks her and begins to care about her and tries to find a way to break her own spell and can't. And then, spoilers, because I don't give a fuck, Maleficent grows to love her like a daughter, and Maleficent breaks the spell by kissing her because it's a true love's kiss because of the love between a mother and a daughter. So, it's just a big old...
She doesn't even turn into a dragon. It's the damn
Yeah, she
crow.
turns her familiar into the dragon instead. So...
And they didn't even have the balls to still... They didn't even have the balls to still call him Diablo. I'm just like, son of a bitch.
Yeah, no, they really neutered the Maleficent story to a horrible... Well, I guess they spayed it. They really just ruined the Maleficent story in a horrible, horrible way. And it's really depressing to read about. So, I actually was completely right about how bad it was going to be, which I'm
you were,
I'm very proud of myself for that.
That sounds horrible.
While we didn't really discuss it on the podcast, I was really concerned about X-Men Days of Future Past being a jumbled mess, and I wanted to be excited for it, and I was, but at the same time, I'm like, big budget Hollywood time travel stuff always gets kind of
Convoluted.
sticky. Yeah, and I went and saw it. I actually went and saw it like opening night, and I was wrong.
Really?
It was actually really, really good. There's a couple of things here and there that don't make a whole lot of sense. While I haven't read the story, I respect its place in X-Men canon. I was a little bummed out that Wolverine was like the star when it was originally Kitty Pryde that went back in time to try and stop everything.
Well,
but
you can't make an X-Men movie without Wolverine as a protagonist.
Well,
apparently.
true. But what I liked about it is that based on the trailers and stuff, I thought it was Professor X sending Wolverine back in time. No, it's Shadowcat. She's the one doing the whole flashback consciousness time travel thing. And I thought that was really cool because they managed to still give her a somewhat central role in the story that she was basically the hero of. So
that's surprising.
That's
I was
suppose.
really impressed with it.
I've read a little bit about how they cut like 10 minutes from the film that was an entire subplot about Rogue doing stuff, so that's kind of sad.
Yeah, but I mean, she's in a blink and you'll miss it cameo.
That sucks.
But I will say that from what I read, it was kind of convoluted and didn't make a whole lot of sense. I mean, she's clearly not missed. And I mean, there's a few problems with it and things like that. But overall, it's the best X-Men movie so far. Does some interesting things with the timeline and which again, movie logic, time travel logic, comic books, and all that stuff. So it is what it is. I'm okay with it. But I was wrong. I was happy I'm wrong.
Well, that's good.
I don't think anybody's going to be wrong about Guardians of the Galaxy. I think everyone's going to really like that.
It's going to be so good. I'm really excited for it.
I don't know if I said this on the podcast because Nathan, I know you said before that you were really impressed with how much you like the Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
I think Guardians is going to be better. I think Guardians is going to be better than Avengers.
I think I'm going to like it more because I don't like Joss Whedon's work. So Avengers was more, I was surprised that I liked it because I don't like Joss Whedon. He has a very masturbatory writing style. He's constantly jerking off to his own snark. And he kept that to a minimum in the Avengers, and that's why I appreciated it. So that was more me being surprised that it was any good than actually seeing a lot of quality in the movie.
He did manage to hate on Godzilla 98 once, so that's okay.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, there's a line about it in Buffy.
Which I've never watched. But anyway, Guardians looks pretty fantastic.
Yeah, this is a big comic book movie year. Mm-hmm. Although honestly, ever since Iron Man, every year is a big comic book movie year.
Yeah,
but
I'm just waiting for them to run out of steam.
Yeah, well, apparently Marvel's planned up to 2028, so who knows?
Doesn't surprise me one bit.
But the reason why I bring that up is because Nathan, you've actually had this idea that you've been running past us for a while, where we draft our own superhero teams.
Yeah.
So I want to go ahead and I know we've all got lists drawn up of different teams and different roles.
Well, before we do that, actually,
yeah.
I wanted to do something first really quick, which is actually going to break with tradition for ShallowCast. I've been trying to figure out ways to monetize the show and really just viciously exploit it for as much profit as I possibly can in every possible scenario, in every conceivable way.
It had to happen one of the days.
Well, it had to be one of us that did it, and it might as well be me.
Yeah.
So
it's not going to be the science one, I can tell you that right now.
No,
I don't tend to exploit things for monetary gain.
Yeah, no, scientists are inveterate altruists, whereas writers are just greedy, opportunistic little monsters who will just snatch onto any source of profit they can find because I need it. And so what I did was I went and talked to some other podcasters to try and see if we can become affiliates with them, and get them to promote our show. We'll promote their show, and maybe get our name out there a little bit.
Is that
more.
what that explosion at BronyCast was all about?
I don't know. Look, the BronyCast. I don't want to talk about the BronyCast thing. I was actually trying to contact somebody else, and I spelled the email wrong. I was trying to go to BronyCast because they do marine biology stuff, but I typed the email wrong, and it was a whole thing, and I don't want to talk about it.
Sure.
So,
okay,
anyway, moving on. I'm actually going to throw it to something of a commercial. We've got a few minutes from another podcast we're about to listen to. I don't think you guys know this podcast. You haven't heard this before, so this is going to be fun for all of us. So we're going to go ahead and listen to that, and then when that is over, we are going to jump right into our superhero draft picks. We're going to draft a superhero team.
All right,
so
sounds fun.
I guess we'll see you guys in a few.
All right, here we go.
Hey guys, this is Devin from the Toasty Podcast. And Mom, get off the phone! I need the internet! Hey, this is Devin, and I'm here from the Toasty Podcast, the internet's only podcast devoted completely to brave little toaster. And I'm here to tell you there's no better place... Mom, shut up! There's no better place to get all your Toasty knowledge. We talk about the novels, we talk about the merchandise, we are planning a fan convention, and we cover important Toasty issues like proper protection and medical care for people who enjoy intimate relationships with their appliances. We understand our fellow Toasties and their need to express their natural and healthy feelings with household objects, and we offer a fandom that is free of judging and insults. Aside from these things, our fandom is also running 2 Kickstarters, one for the very first ToastyCon. We have about $75 so far, and as soon as somebody responds to the comment I left on the IMDb forum for Brave Little Toaster Goes to Mars, we will probably have special guests lined up too. Our second Kickstarter is to fund our current litigation with the mother of Tyler Hallowell, who is trying to stop the fandom from drawing sexually explicit art of the character he designed, who was made canon through the efforts of the Make-A-Wish Foundation shortly before his death. She has repeatedly requested that we not draw fan art of his character in sexually explicit situations, and obviously it is a matter of freedom of speech that we continue to do so, and we will be fighting her injunctions at every turn. But I digress. Toasties do and will accept you no matter what the— I don't care that Dale's coming over, Mom! I hate Dale! God! Anyway, Toasty Podcast, don't miss it.
Hey, welcome back to ShallowCast. That was certainly a thing that we just listened to.
That was a thing. Why did you think any of that was okay?
Well, I am so disturbed right now. Look, why did you decide to inflict that upon us?
Okay, look, I didn't... Okay, in my defense, I just heard about the concept for the podcast. I didn't actually have a chance to listen to it before I decided to promote it. And, okay, to be fair, maybe that was a slightly bad decision on my part. But that doesn't mean that it's not going to lead to vast amounts of profit for me. And possibly you too.
Anybody knows that you actually do research before trying to test a premise.
Well,
and she's the science one. She knows that
stuff. Well, okay, and I'm not the science one, so clearly I don't know this stuff.
You are.
Because that's
but you are my roommate, which means that you should know better.
Okay, look, I can't learn science by osmosis, all right? That is not how that works.
I'm working on that, actually.
I'm terrified. Look, let's just move on and not focus on anybody may or may not have made a bad decision, even though nobody did, because every decision they make is right. So, anyway, what we're going to do now is we're going to draft our superhero teams. I've been kicking around ideas for different show segments for a while, and the ShallowDraft is one of those segments where we are just going to choose random pop culture characters and random heroes from things and fill a team of some sort, like a superhero team or a team of action movie stars or a group of characters that would all be in a sitcom together or something. So it's an idea I've had. I ran it by Xander a couple months ago, actually.
Yeah, we've been talking about this for a while, and been talking about ideas and stuff. And I think we've all got kind of ideas of different drafts we want to do. But since this was Nathan's idea, he gets to pick first on which draft we do. So, Nathan, why don't you explain the rules?
Well, this time we're going to be drafting a superhero team in the style of, say, the Avengers or the Guardians of the Galaxy or the Justice League. So we're going to have... I decided to limit it to 5 people who are going to come from... They're going to be, they're part of a superhero canon. So they came from a comic book first, for the most part. They interact with a superhero. They're part of a superhero franchise. That's going to be the focus for these characters. So the rules I wrote down were you can't have more than 2 heroes from DC or Marvel. That means only 2 DC and only 2 Marvel if you want to do that. But you can have unlimited heroes from other comic book franchises. So, like, with Dark Horse Comics or Image Comics or something, you can have...
Or IDW.
You can have as many people from those as you want, but you can only have 2 DC and only have 2 Marvel. Or no DC and no Marvel, but that's your limit if you choose one of those. You are allowed to choose from the live-action, animated, or TV versions of characters. So, Xander, if you wanted to choose... Cyclops, but you specifically wanted Cyclops from the old X-Men animated series from the 90s, that's the one you could choose.
He was honestly the best
He's
Cyclops.
He's the only Cyclops that's not totally terrible, yeah. So you could choose that version of Cyclops.
Cyclops is mostly useless other than that.
Pretty much. He's a terrible superhero. He's so boring. You can't recreate an existing superhero team. Actually, the rules prevent that anyway with DC and Marvel. But all that means is, like, okay, you can't recreate the Justice League by choosing people whose characters are obviously Supermans and Wonder Womans and Martian Manhunters and stuff. And for this draft, we are excluding the use of characters that originated in anime or manga, just because the power disparities are so huge there. Like, we can't have Goku in this, and we can't have the Power Rangers and stuff in this.
Fair enough.
So, those are the rules. Okay. And the roles we're going to be choosing from for our superhero teams are, we're going to have one team leader, and that's just, the guy that is kind of the strategist and is saying, you do this, you go over here, Hulk, smash. We're going to have one snarky, sarcastic character, the team douche, which is a trope I've talked about before.
We have.
We're going to have one, what I've referred to as a bruiser character, which is kind of like the Hulk. It's the really big, burly one that just smashes shit and wrecks stuff for everybody.
My fig isn't exactly burly.
But that's the concept behind it.
Right, I get you.
We're going to have one person with no powers. This isn't to say that all your characters have to have superpowers, but you do have to include one person who's just like a normal mortal. In the same vein as having, like, Hawkeye on the Avengers. And you have to have one token girl. I have a feeling that Hanna and I are both going to have more than one girl on our teams. But because we have, Black Widow in the Avengers or Wonder Woman in the Justice League, you do have to include one female character in your draft.
Understood.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, those are good rules. I like those rules a lot, actually.
Sorry.
No. I'm
okay.
done. I don't know what I was going with.
I was just going to say one last thing is that while we were doing the commercial, we secretly decided who's going to go first, and we're just going to all take turns naming our heroes and explaining why we chose them. We're going to start with Hanna, and then it's going to be Xander, and then it's going to be me. So, whenever you're ready, Hanna, go ahead and give us your first pick.
All right. My first pick, I'm going to start with my bruiser.
Okay.
I am choosing Hit Girl from the live-action Kick-Ass.
Sweet.
That's a good pick.
That's a very good one,
Thank
yeah.
you. I adore Hit Girl because she kicks ass and takes names.
Pretty
That's
much.
basically her shtick.
Yeah.
Because she hits, girl. Damn.
Shut up. Duh. Bah.
She's got an awesome costume. She knows what the hell she's doing. And she is by far the most realistic character as far as combat goes that I've ever seen in a movie. I'm honestly not that familiar with her in comic books because I just don't read a lot of comics, which I'm planning on changing, but I just don't have access to comics at the moment.
Yeah.
But from the movies, she is absolutely my favorite character from a superhero movie, probably over the last decade.
Yeah, she's really well done, and I mean, part of that is, of course, kudos to her her actor. Was it Chloe Grace Moretz?
Yes,
right?
it is.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a fantastic actress.
Really good.
She really sells the character. Actually, there's really not that many differences between Hit Girl in the comic and Hit Girl in the movie. It's a very impressive.
Sweet.
It's an almost one-to-one adaptation, I will say.
Oh, that makes me even happier.
Yeah. No, Hit Girl's
Cool.
really spot on.
All right, so Hit Girl as my bruiser for
Sweet.
my badass lady squad because my pick is going to be all women.
I'm not surprised.
Awesome. That's awesome. So I'm next, and I'm actually going to pick my bruiser first as well. And like I said, he doesn't exactly fit the trope of the big burly guy, but I picked the comics version of Iceman from, of course, the X-Men.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah, and the reason why I picked Iceman is Bobby Drake's actually probably my favorite member of the X-Men. Whenever I try and figure out who my favorite is, it usually comes down to Bobby Drake. And I mean, the guy is amazing. He's an original member of the team. And he's actually classified as what's known as an Omega level mutant, because basically what happens is and Hanna, you probably realize this, and I think I've explained it to Nathan as well, because his powers all revolve around creating ice. He's so powerful that he can affect the world's ecosystem, because it's not that he's freezing stuff, he's not lowering the temperature of stuff, he's actually extracting heat from it, and that's why it's able to freeze so fast. That's why he's able to create such, powerful ice constructs and stuff. Apparently, he's actually gone to the point where he can survive, he's at one point he was completely destroyed from the head down, or from neck down, while in his ice form, and he was able to rebuild himself. Yeah, he's kind of got. I call it a rudimentary healing factor, because clearly, if he gets blown up when he's in his fleshy form, he's going everywhere, and then he's going nowhere. But he's been shown to be able to travel in all three states of water, so gas, liquid, and solid. He can merge with bodies of water, so he can basically merge with the the Mississippi River or something and add that to his mass temporarily. I mean, he could basically rule the world.
I did not know any of this.
That is so cool.
Holy shit.
Yeah, he's like I said, yeah. And part of that too is he's a mega level mutant. He doesn't realize his full potential. And honestly, the most powerful he's ever been is at one point Emma Frost, who's of course an incredibly powerful telepath in the X-Men universe, actually possesses his mind and becomes pretty much unstoppable, because she's able to access some of his mental blocks and use his full potential. But that's why I picked him as my bruiser, just because he can take anything he dishes out, and if he gets going, he's nearly unstoppable.
That is a really impressive pick, actually. Holy crap.
I like that a lot.
I did not know any of this about Iceman.
Neither did I, and I'm kind of sad about that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm genuinely impressed right now. I don't mean to harp on that, but holy crap.
No, none of the media really gives Iceman the
credit
attention
he
deserves. It just shows him skating around and throwing ice balls and
stuff. So they really leave him out in the cold, huh?
They do. They do.
Oh, you like that? I'm sorry. That was horrible.
That caught me off guard.
Yeah, no. Sometimes I do horrible puns, but it's really rare. Most of the time I stick to frowning when other people make puns.
That's usually the mode that I know you in.
Yeah, no, that's my go-to reaction. So,
but Iceman from the comic books.
All right,
Yeah.
So we've got
Cool.
Hannah's got Hit Girl from the Kick-Ass movie. Xander's got Iceman from the comic books, and I guess it's my turn to pick a character now.
It is your turn.
Okay, I'm not gonna pick my bruiser first. I'm going instead to choose.
Way to break the combo.
Well, I just want to. I'm going to get this one out of the way because it's a very obvious pick for me.
Okay.
I'm going to choose my snarker, my very snarky, sarcastic character, and I'm going to choose Jubilee from the X-Men animated series.
I approve.
Wait, Jubilee's your snarker?
Yes.
That's, again, not something I saw coming. Good on you.
I wonder who
That's
you're.
awesome.
Who are you-
Jubilee is full of sass and fireworks.
She really
Well,
is.
she is, but I figured that, because I know how much Nathan loves her, I figured she would be in a different, I just figured she'd be, I mean, she's not the token girl, but I thought that would be a go-to for
Well,
him.
I will say that my backup for the snarker role was Harley Quinn, which was another good, very sarcastic, snarky character. But here's the thing about
is,
Jubilee. I chose her from the animated series for a couple different reasons. In the current Marvel Comics continuity, she had her powers taken away from her, and then she was turned into a vampire, and I kind of hate that. Because Jubilee in the comics and Jubilee in the TV show has a devastating set of superpowers. What she can do, first of all, she has an innate ability to evade the detection of telepaths, so she can sneak past psychic characters. So Emma Frost, Jean Grey, Professor X, they cannot detect her with their minds, which makes her really good for sneaking into things if she needs to. She can explosively charge objects. She can make an explosive out of anything that she can touch, kind of the same way that Gambit can make his playing cards explode.
Right.
And she is detonating particles on a subatomic level. She's another Omega level mutant.
Wait, Jubilee's an Omega
Yes,
level?
actually she is. Yes. She detonates matter at a subatomic level and in theory can generate the power of a fusion bomb.
Wow.
Emma Frost has referred to her as having unlimited potential and has described her as the most powerful mutant she's ever encountered. They don't really use the telepathy immunity thing very much for her anymore, but Jubilee can do some incredible fucking damage.
Yeah, it sounds like
Well,
it.
the energy plasmoids she makes follow her mental control, so they go where she directs them. She doesn't just make an explosion at the range that her hand, like in the palm of her hand or something. She makes these fireworks and they can go anywhere she tells them to. So she's actually...
How did she not blow herself up growing up when she was trying to get a control of her powers?
I think she probably blew a lot of other things up, and she was just very lucky and just very...
I mean, the cartoon, they show her frying a VCR.
Yeah, they show her destroying a lot of stuff in the cartoon. But she's my
Yeah,
snarker...
but subatomic detonations is nothing to sneeze at.
No, that's why I chose her. That's why I like her so much. Jubilee is a fun character because she grew up in California. She's very sarcastic. She's very snarky. I love her outfit. She's a very painfully 80s character with her bright yellow overcoat and her bright pink sunglasses and her blue shorts, jeans, and her big boots. And she's just a very sarcastic Californian teenager. And that's what I was as a kid. So I chose Jubilee because she's got some incredibly powerful abilities and because she's a sassy little kid. So I love Jubilee, and I chose her because I adore her.
Yeah, she's a lot of fun, so that was a good pick.
That is a very good pick.
I'm
Yes.
pretty proud of it. It was a very obvious pick for me, but I couldn't help it. I'm sorry. I had to choose. Jubilee had to be in there somewhere.
I knew you were going to have Jubilee in there somewhere. I was just not anticipating her as your snarker. But sweet.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think it's Hannah's turn again. So Hanna, what's your next pick?
My next pick is, I don't know if this is going to be acceptable under our rules, but I am ensuring that Nathan will let me know if it's not. But my person with no powers.
Okay.
Kim Possible.
Huh.
I think I'll allow it because you don't have a lot of comic book knowledge, and we gotta fill the characters in. So I'll allow it. Continue.
Okay, sweet. Kim Possible, with very little training, is able to enact just massive feats of martial arts. She has saved the world so many times, she can literally call in favors from almost anyone on the planet to fly her anywhere in the world for free, just to repay her a debt.
Right.
And she has interacted with literally supernatural creatures without any supernatural abilities of her own, and won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a very
she's done a lot.
She's a very capable character.
She's a very capable character, and I just wanted somebody who at least had a good head on their shoulders for my my no powers person.
I think that's a good decision. I think,
and besides, Hit Girl was already taken for Bruiser.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, so far you've got two people who don't have powers but have incredible martial art and combat ability and can definitely fuck things up when they need to. So
I am a little partial to people with excellent combat skills.
I have noticed this.
Yeah. So I'm gonna take my turn then, and I'm actually gonna go with the no powers, the no powers angle as well, and I actually chose Barbara Gordon.
Whoa!
As Oracle.
Oh, that's
brilliant!
That is an
excellent choice.
Holy shit! I didn't even think of that. I'm sorry. I'm really impressed right now. Actually,
I mean because Barbara Gordon was initially was actually inspired kind of went like a Harley Quinn thing, because Harley Quinn was originally conceived for the television show, and then they brought her into the comics canon. Well, Barbara Gordon was kind of like that as well back in the 60s. The producers of the TV show asked DC to create a female, basically a female counterpart to Batman that they could introduce in both the live-action TV show and the comic books at the same time. And then, of course, Barbara Gordon, daughter of Commissioner Gordon, and an excellent martial artist in her own right. Again, you guys have appreciation for that. And then at the end of The Killing Joke, she was paralyzed by the Joker. But instead of letting her, get her down and all that stuff, which they do sometimes, she becomes, of course, the intelligence broker known as the Oracle. And I thought that she was mainly a Batman family character, and I've actually read that she's pretty much been described as smarter as, if not more so, than Batman.
Damn.
And she still has martial arts knowledge left over from not only when she was Batgirl, but also from being in the wheelchair. She actually practices a specialized version of martial arts that mainly uses weapons. And I think it's called Eskrima.
Yes.
And she even has Eskrima sticks hidden in her wheelchair just in case something goes down. But I mean, she's assisted people, all over the DC universe. She ran her, her own little badass female squad of superheroes known as the Birds of Prey. And I just thought that for someone with no powers, she can literally run again, just like Iceman. She can literally run the world because of her intellect and mastery of technology. She's got a photographic memory. I mean, this girl is smart. And the moment Nathan sent me this list, I'm like, okay, Oracle's going to be on there somewhere.
Damn, that's a really good pick.
Just as a reference,
yeah.
Just as a reference, in case this needs some sort of mental image to go with it. Eskrima is very similar to the martial art employed either by Kick-Ass in the Kick-Ass movies or by Taylor Imogen in Stargate Atlantis.
Okay, so it's the two sticks?
It's the two sticks held at one end that are used at the same time as weapons of just blunt force combat.
Gotcha.
You need extreme grace, and you need just amazing lightning quick reflexes. So that's actually a very, very nice pick. I like that a lot. I did not know that.
I totally forgot about Oracle.
Yeah, she's a badass.
Which is weird, because I went through, because I was thinking about Harley Quinn. In the Harley Quinn comic, she interacts with Oracle a couple times, and she interacts with people that Oracle is dispatching to try and stop Harley. And so a lot of female DC Comics characters show up in Harley's comic, including Oracle, and I totally didn't think about her for some reason. That's a very good pick,
Yeah, I went a little out of the box for some of this stuff.
I'm impressed.
It just gets better from here.
Huh. All right.
It's Nathan's turn.
It is my turn. Oh, gosh. All right. Oh, man. Okay. This is a really tough choice for me. I'm going to choose my bruiser. And, okay. I only had two choices for my bruiser. I had one main pick and one backup. And even as I speak, I'm on the fence about which one to pick. But I'm going to go with She-Hulk as my bruiser.
All right.
For people who don't know She-Hulk's history, she's Bruce Banner's cousin. Her name is it Jennifer Walters, I believe?
Nathan, can you reiterate
Wait, she
that
is?
again?
Yeah, she's Bruce Banner's cousin.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, it is Jennifer Walters. She's Bruce Banner's cousin. she got Hulk powers via a blood transfusion. She was in a car accident, and Bruce Banner he did a blood transfusion with her, and that's how she got a milder version of Hulk powers. So she becomes a larger and green version of herself, but she retains her personality and retains her mind.
Oh, cool. That's actually even better than Hulk.
Yeah, no, she's a fantastic character.
She's awesome.
She's a lawyer.
David S. Goyer.
And so even when she is being She-Hulk, she still represents other superheroes and villains in court because she's a lawyer. She's incredibly...
That's fucking awesome.
She's amazing. She's incredibly physically strong. She's a very snarky character. She almost was on my list as my snarker. And she's just, a super-powered woman with incredible strength and a regenerative ability. And she pretty much spends all her time in She-Hulk form, actually.
Yeah, I actually was reading about her the other day. She was initially apprehensive about it because she didn't want people to see her transform, and all that stuff. But eventually, she embraced it, and then some guy in charge of the DC Universe movies said some really awful stuff about her.
Yeah, I didn't want to think about that. Actually, he said some really shitty things.
Of course.
But there's two things I really love about She-Hulk. She's very self-aware, and what I mean by that is that she's trying to figure out how her powers work, and she discovers that her strength as She-Hulk is dependent on her strength in her normal human form. So she starts working out in her human form, and it makes her She-Hulk form even stronger. So she learns how her...
I guess that's based on just because her powers originate from a slightly different source than Bruce Banner's.
Yeah, no, the Hulk...
That makes sense.
The Hulk, the angrier he gets, the stronger he gets. So his powers are theoretically infinite. And She-Hulk's powers are dependent upon her strength as a human. And so as she works out more and trains more as a human, she gets more powerful as She-Hulk. The other thing I really like about her is that She-Hulk is one of the few DC Comics characters who knows she is a comic book character. She's aware she's aware of the fourth wall. Most writers don't usually mess with that with her. But for a while, she was very aware that she was in a comic book, and she yelled at her editors when they were making bad decisions, and she complained about the poses she had to be on the covers of her magazines. She was...
What, really? Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah, no, she's very aware of the fact that she's a comic book character, and so she doesn't get along with Deadpool very well, but she and him both know that they're in comics.
That must be weird to have conversations with each other.
Yeah, I feel like any time they interact is going to be incredibly strange. But yeah, no, she knows she's in a comic book. She is very intelligent, very powerful. She's got a really strong sense of right and wrong. She is, according to Wikipedia at least, the physically strongest woman in the Marvel Universe.
I believe it, yeah, because there's some strong people, but yeah, that makes sense. I'm trying to think of all the different Marvel Universe women, and yeah, physically that would make sense. Yeah. Jean Grey's of course the Phoenix and all those other mutants and stuff, but yeah, physically strong, yeah, that sounds about right.
Yep. So I have to ask now, since you were so torn, what was your backup pick?
Okay, my backup pick admittedly was a little on the silly side, but I do have reasoning for the character I was going to choose. In Jeff Smith's comics book Bone, which is my favorite comic book ever, there is a character who used to be the queen of the fictional country where Bone takes place. Her name was Rose, and she was the ruler of her country. She was an amazing swordswoman. She was a brilliant tactician. She had the ability to talk to animals, including dragons, who in the Bone series are supernatural creatures who are incredibly wise and incredibly powerful. Rose could also harness the power of the dreaming, which is an alternate state humans arrive in when they sleep, and she could use that power to affect things in the real world and make herself stronger, and that's how she talks to animals. And in the Bone series, all this stuff I've just said about her is in her past when she's a young girl, and in the Bone series, she's just a grumpy old woman. She's just Grandma Ben, and she's an old grouchy lady with incredible physical strength who punches through the panel of her comic at one point to grab someone in the other panel and pull them over to her. So
that's pretty awesome.
So she's basically me when I get old and grumpy.
Pretty much, yeah. I actually think you would like Grandma Ben a lot because she's pretty similar to you in personality. I was almost going to choose Grandma Ben because she's really strong, she's really smart, she's a very good tactician. She used to be the queen of an entire country, and so
right.
She-Hulk versus Grandma Ben. I felt like I wanted to have a person with some real superpowers behind them. And
Sweet.
So I was going to choose Grandma Ben, but I went ahead and did She-Hulk. And that means...
Awesome. I approve.
Good, I'm glad. So far we've got Iceman and Oracle for Xander, Hit Girl and Kim Possible for Hanna, and I just chose Jubilee and She-Hulk, and that means I can not choose any more Marvel characters.
Yeah, I've got one left on my team for each company, and then Hanna's the wild card.
Yeah.
She's going everywhere,
which is awesome.
I have very, very little actual comic book knowledge. Almost all of my knowledge about the comic universe is derived from the movies that have come out over the last few years, and even those I've only seen maybe half of them.
Well, and so that was why I was willing to, I talked to Xander about this, and I talked to you about this, is I wanted to relax the rules a little bit, so that you could participate in the discussion. So I allowed webcomics in, and we went and looked up some superheroes online, and like Kim Possible's not a comic book character, but I wanted you to be able to choose some people that you knew, as opposed to just people who fit the criteria.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So
I think there's a couple of comics with Kim Possible. So
whatever. Not her origin though, which is what I wanted to start with. But still, she's still a valid pick. So whatever.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So all right, Hanna, lay your next pick on us.
All right. My next one that I'm going to go with is going to be my token girl, which obviously isn't going to be my token girl for this team.
Right, exactly.
I don't think I have a single guy in my entire listing of main picks or backups.
And that almost makes the token girl spot for you a wild card where you can choose literally any character. So
basically, I'm actually quite thrilled with it. But the one that I actually have chosen is Raven from the Teen Titans cartoon.
Ooh, okay.
Ooh, very
I
nice.
never watched Teen Titans. The art style
I
was...
only recall
this.
a couple of episodes of Teen Titans, so I actually went and had to look her up on Wikipedia the other day so I could remind myself of what she could do.
Oh, that's right.
She is actually the offspring of a demon and a human.
Okay.
And she is not only just amazing martial arts skills that she has, but she's also got all kinds of weird mental mystical powers. Like she's got astral projection, and she's got various forms of telepathy and telekinesis that just kind of show up in weird random ways, and she's very, very, very powerful as a character, but she tends to be so low-key personality-wise that it doesn't get shown off a lot.
Gotcha.
And part of that, I don't mean to step
No,
on your
please
toes
do.
or anything, but the thing, part of that too is just because of how her powers are based and because of her heritage and stuff like that. The reason why she's such a low-key character, and I don't really remember how it is in the comics, but this is how it's explained in the cartoon, is that her powers are actually controlled by her emotions. And so,
that's right. I forgot about
the
that.
less
Thank you.
control, and it's actually used to comedic effect. In one episode, her and Starfire switch bodies, and Starfire's powers are actually kind of powered by emotions as well. And because Starfire is so used to letting herself go nuts, and Raven is so reserved, it takes some time in getting used to their powers. But yeah, basically what happens is if Raven is allowed to cut loose, then people start dying, and it gets ugly.
Terrifying.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
Raven is extremely powerful.
Cool.
But yeah, that's a good pick for the not token girl.
Yeah.
I considered very briefly just turning it into a token guy, but then I didn't care enough.
It's not as fun.
I didn't even
It's not
think
quite
of that
fun.
as having a token guy instead, because my team was all women too. But it never occurred to me that I could just have one dude. Huh.
So I'm going to go...
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Go for it.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go with my token girl as well. And this character is a character that was only seen once.
Oh, God.
In a couple of panels. It's from the 3H Transformers comic book universe.
Oh, God, what are you doing?
Oh, no.
It is a character referred to only as the Plasma Cannon Granny Bot.
What the fuck?
What?
What words
Yes.
just came out of your mouth?
Repeat that
Plasma
for me.
Cannon Granny Bot. She is a character shown in... She's in 3 panels.
That sounds like
She's
something you buy in a questionable store with no windows.
Oh, God, yeah, it does.
She is
We shop
shown
at that
in
same
3
store?
panels. She actually kind of looks like a robot version of Muriel from Courage the Cowardly Dog.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Yeah, she shows up in 3 panels, and she gets harassed by a couple. And it's all like, unless the panels that I'm looking at are edited, it's all dialogue free. She gets harassed by a couple of hoodlums transforms into a giant plasma cannon and vaporizes them.
I'm okay with this.
And that's all you ever see.
I have so many questions.
I don't.
And
I'm good with that explanation.
Okay.
And I know that it does that. Transformers is originated as a toy line and a cartoon. However, as I said, this is a comics-only character that showed up once, so that's how she
fair. I'll allow
circumvents
that.
the
Okay.
rules.
And her name is Plasma Cannon Grannybot? Is that what
Plasma
you just
Cannon
said?
Grannybot,
I'm assuming that...
right. And it's not even an official name. It's just what everyone calls her because that's all I know about
I'm
her.
assuming
When I
that
live to
the
be
last
like
thing is
95,
hyphenated.
I'm using that as the name of my autobiography.
I love it.
I have no words for that.
I don't know how to... Yeah, I don't know how to feel.
I feel very approving and very proud of that, but at the same time, I have absolutely no frame of reference for it whatsoever, and so I'm just imagining just a granny turning into a giant gun and vaporizing a couple of hoodlums.
It's exactly what it is. It's exactly what it is. The hoodlums have mohawks and everything.
I'm really impressed at how you circumvented my rules, first of all. Because I was expecting Transformers characters, but then I remembered that I'd arranged the rules so that could not happen. And I was like, how is he going to weasel his way around this? And
I picked Oracle for my person with no powers, and I kind of blew my load on that decision. And I'm like, okay, how am I going to get a... Yeah, right? But then I'm like, okay, how am I going to do this? I know, comics-only Transformers characters. I was gonna go after a named character, and then I'm like, holy shit, Plasma Cannon Grannybot. Nope, there it is.
So you were just on the Transformers wiki under the female characters category, and you saw that name?
I was under comics only characters, and I was clicking on stuff that sounded female.
Gotcha.
Yep.
All right,
Can't wait to see how you follow that up, Nathan.
You know what? All right, fuck it. Let's do this. I am gonna choose. It's my turn, right?
Yes.
Okay. You know what? I wasn't planning on making this pick, but I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway. I'm choosing my leader, and I am choosing Miss Frizzle from the Magic School Bus book series. That's how I follow that up, motherfucker.
How are you getting around that rule? The fact that it started off as
it was a book series that was illustrated in every single page. So it was a graphic novel of sorts.
Enough.
She's my leader.
I cannot dispute that.
Yes.
I thought Plasma Cannon Grannybot spoke for itself, but boy, Miss Frizzle as the leader, you don't really need to say anything more. She's a very...
The rest of her team, every time they're given an order, just looks at her in just mild confusion and then just shrugs and goes and does whatever.
Well, first of all, she's got a mode of transportation. She's got the bus, so she can get this team to places. Which is important because she's got this big team of weird people, not many of whom have transportation. She-Hulk doesn't... I don't know what kind of car she has, and Jubilee's not old enough to drive in this incarnation I've chosen. So, Miss Frizzle's got the bus. She's a very intelligent, very warm human being with an incredible amount of knowledge. She's got encyclopedic knowledge of basically all human information, as far as I can tell. She's very compassionate. She's very focused on the education and betterment of her fellow man. And she seems to know all things at all times.
Plus, she has a magical bus, so, if She-Hulk needs the seat scooted back, she can totally do that.
Yeah, it doesn't even have to be in the shape of a bus. It can just be a helicarrier or whatever it needs to be for a while. So...
And just imagining the Magic School Bus with, a cape and a mask.
That totally would happen, too! She'd be fixing up she'd be fixing the mask, and then she'd get some kind of alert that there's crime happening. She'd be like, all right, seatbelts, everyone! It's time to go fight crime! So,
Liz has her own little cape and mask.
Of course. So I was actually leaning towards, I was either going to choose Wonder Woman or, Thorn, who is actually Grandma Ben's granddaughter, as my leader, but after Xander's insanity, I had to follow it up with the batshit insane pick I made. So
no one's gonna fault you for that.
All right.
No one's gonna fault
then
you for
I
that.
choose Miss Frizzle as my team leader.
All right. Now it's just turning into a game of one-upmanship.
Well,
so, Hanna, what you got?
Admittedly, all the rest of my picks are pretty normal. I have one pick that I'm not sure I'm going to do that's kind of silly, but the rest of mine are mostly normal from here on out.
If this is turning into a game of one-upmanship, I'm going to choose my snarker / team douche.
Oh, no.
Okie dokie.
And for this choice, I am going with Shigo from Kim Possible again.
All right.
Oh, man. That, again... Perfect.
That's pretty good. She's very snarky. Yeah. She is the team douche when she's on a team.
That is basically her entire persona is just snarkiness and green glowing plasma.
Yeah. Yeah, tell us a little bit more about her.
And she actually has a fascinating backstory, because she was also not quite the snarkiest in her family, but she actually used to be part of a family of superheroes.
Huh.
She and her brothers were Team Go, and they fought crime together. So there was He-Go, We-Go, the twins, and Me-Go, the narcissistic one.
Of course.
And then there was She-Go as well.
Okay.
And they fought crime in Go City. Eventually, She-Go
From
decided...
token girl to snarker.
Right?
I mean, she's moving up in the world.
She is. So she realized the more they fought crime, the more she realized she liked the evil side of things. And eventually she defected from Team Go, moved to Middleton, where she then got a job being a henchman for Dr. Draken, where she continually likes to snark, but now she gets to basically play by her own rules.
Huh.
And get a bigger paycheck, if I remember correctly.
Yes, much bigger paycheck, and then she gets to be evil, which was a huge perk for her.
I did not know this stuff about She-Go. And her powers, I just know that she has, plasma things on the ends of her claws.
So her green plasma is destructive powers. She can basically just blow stuff apart. It gives her strength, but mostly what it does is it just shreds everything it comes in contact with. Okay?
Okay.
Her brother He-Go, he has blue glowing plasma, and when he uses it, he gets infused with super strength.
Huh.
The twins, We-Go, they're both named We-Go, actually have the same power, and they can create duplicates of themselves.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't remember if it was duplicates or shrinking.
Yeah, duplicates for the twins, and their plasma is red, and then Me-Go is the shrinker.
Okay.
And his plasma is purple.
Huh.
Yeah. So She-Go as my team snarker.
Awesome.
Interesting. Good choice.
Thank you.
So,
Now I have impossible spoilers, because I haven't seen anywhere near as much of it as you, actually.
That's not really spoilers, it's just backstory.
That's true. Good choice.
Yeah. So going with Hannah's trend once again.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to pick my team snarker, and I think Nathan probably saw this coming. But you were talking about how She-Hulk is one of the few characters that realizes she's in a comic book.
Yeah.
And for my snarker, I picked the other major character that knows they're in a comic book, and I went
Ambush
with,
Bug.
of course. What?
Ambush Bug? The DC Comics superhero?
Oh, I remember Ambush Bug. No, not Ambush Bug.
Okay.
It's
Howard the Duck.
No, it's the Merc with the Mouth, my man, Deadpool.
That guy.
Yeah, I love that. Did Nathan just walk out? Is that what that
I
was?
should have pretended that's what happened. That sounded like the cat knocking something over in Hannah's room.
No, actually, that wasn't the cat. That was just my own klutziness.
Oh, that was the
knocking
Hanna
something
knocking
over.
something over in Hannah's room.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so
Carry on.
for the 9 people who don't know anything about Deadpool, go ahead and tell us about Deadpool.
Yeah, so Deadpool is the Merc with the Mouth, a former member of Weapon X, like Wolverine. And whereas She-Hulk breaks the fourth wall, a couple times here and there, Deadpool pretty much does it on a constant basis. And he's just he's one of the world's greatest assassins, which is amazing considering anyone is able to tolerate him long enough to actually hire him. But he, kind of like She-Go, he pretty much goes where the biggest paycheck is. And I mean, he's been shanghaied by S.H.I.E.L.D. before to take out like resurrecting presidents and stuff like that. But he's really good at what he does. He's just a giant pain in the ass. And that's, I mean, when it comes to snark, he's one of the best. Just with all the different ticks he has and everything. And again, he's all sorts of crazy.
I do approve of the choice for Team Snarker. I will admit, I do appreciate Deadpool's sass.
Yeah, I'm alright with Deadpool. He's gotten so overused on Tumblr and on Twitter and YouTube that it's like,
well, yes,
I'm not as into him
course.
as I would be normally. But he's a very good character. So, alright, I'll allow that.
Yep, that's
okay.
Right.
Let me see here. I can choose my person with no powers, or I can choose my token girl. So I think I'm going to go ahead and choose my person with no powers. And this was another tough one for me. But
okay.
I'm going to go with Michonne from The Walking Dead.
Ooh, very nice.
Now, for people who don't,
I know very little about The Walking Dead, so you will have to elaborate.
All right. Well, it's a comic book series that takes place mostly in Georgia, mostly in the South, and Michonne is, she's a black woman with, like, really pretty dreads and a katana. And
I love her already.
the first panel where she's introduced, she's striding toward the camera with her katana in one hand, and in the other hand, she's holding the chains that shackle the 2 zombies she's captured and is using as her bodyguards. She's cut off their jaws so they can't attack her, but their presence deters other zombies from attacking her as well. So they're just like her little pets that she uses to protect herself from the zombies.
Damn.
Michonne used to be a lawyer. She's incredibly skilled with her katana. I don't think she has any martial arts or combat training, so she's learned it all in the
From
field.
what I understand.
So she's just honed these skills in the wild, escaping from zombie attack day after day.
What is it with all the superheroes that used to be lawyers?
I don't know, actually. Well, I mean, She-Hulk is still a lawyer. She still practices even when she's giant and green.
That's just weird to me.
Which is, it's a little weird, but she does, like, she'll show up in comics just randomly representing some supervillain who got his neck, sprained really badly in a fight, or some hero who's trying to prove he's not responsible for the damage to a city block or whatever. So She-Hulk still shows up a lot. Michonne...
It's like how the guys in all of the rom-coms are always architects.
Yeah.
Sorry. Anyway.
I didn't think about that, actually. But Michonne she's a very stoic, very quiet, kind of tortured character, who is pretty much a juggernaut with a katana. They don't use this in the TV series, and I'm glad they don't, but the antagonist in the Walking Dead comic book had her captured for a while, and did some pretty nasty things to her and the protagonist of the comic book before she was able to escape. As they're escaping, she pauses and goes back long enough to hunt him down, gouge out one of his eyes with a spoon, castrate him, beat him within an inch of his life, cut off several things from his body with her katana, I don't remember all of them, and just leave him a mutilated wreck before they escape. So she is a...
That's the comics version.
That's
of
a
the
comics
governor,
version
right?
of the governor, yeah. So
Okay.
Michonne is a very vengeful woman, for a very
love
good
that.
reason. She's pretty fucking fantastic. And I chose comics Michonne because I don't know anything about the TV series.
She still gouges out the governor's eye, but it's a pretty lame fight.
Well, I heard that they sanitized a lot of what he did to her.
They sanitize a lot of stuff in that show.
I'm glad that they did, because I didn't like...
I mean, it's the apocalypse. Stuff gets dirty.
Okay, anyway, that's my pick for Person Without Powers. It was another difficult decision for me, but I'm going to go with Michonne.
What I think is really funny in The Walking Dead, just real quick, in the TV show, the guy that plays the governor is actually, what's his name, from The Next Doctor. I thought that was really, really funny. Yeah.
What?
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Wait, I don't know who that is. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, in that special The Next Doctor, where the guy touches the information cylinder and he thinks he's literally the
Okay, I'm
doctor.
going to pretend I know what you're talking about. Who's this
they can't-
actor? I don't know these names.
I don't know his name either. I don't remember.
Okay,
It's not important
okay.
enough. But it was more for Hannah's benefit than yours, because I know
that's
Hanna
fair.
would know.
All right. Fine.
So we all have one pick
Yeah.
left, and I think Hannah's is the leader. Or no, she picked the leader, didn't she?
No, she didn't pick her lead.
Nope.
Okay,
So-
Nope,
mine's
my
left
leader's
too.
the
So
one
Okay.
far,
that's left.
Hannah's got Kim Possible and Shigo. She's got Hit Girl. And, I'm sorry, who was your other one? Raven, that's right, I'm sorry. She's not, I
Raven.
don't know anything about her, so I don't remember her very easily. Xander's got Iceman, Oracle, Deadpool, and I'm just losing them all. Oh, your token, the Granny Bot. The Plasma Cannon Granny
the
Bot.
Granny Bot.
And then I have She-Hulk, Jubilee, Michonne, and... Miss Frizzle. There we go. I'm sorry. I'm deleting them from my paper as I read it so that I remember who I've already chosen, but it means I don't remember who I chose.
You should delete the people other than the
You
ones...
see, that would make more
Yeah.
sense. But,
Yep.
Anyway, continue.
Okay.
All right. I am now going to choose my leader, and I'm honestly surprised that neither of you have chosen this one yet. But honestly, to be the leader of an all-women superhero team, she was really the only
Okay.
choice.
Well,
Wonder
like
Woman.
I said, Wonder Woman was going to be my choice for leader, and then I went with Miss Frizzle instead. So I did...
No, Wonder Woman
Which
is
was an
a
excellent
great
Yeah,
choice.
I love Miss Frizzle too much to not use her in things.
And mostly because I think Wonder Woman is one of the only ones who would command enough respect from the others to make, Kim Possible and Shigo and Hit Girl play nicely
Oh,
with
of
each other.
course, yeah.
Because I think they would all just be incredibly intimidated by her and slightly starstruck. So I think she'd be able to keep a handle on the whole team.
I think that's
really
a very
well.
good choice.
And we're just going with Wonder Woman in general. I'm assuming here we're not picking any specific one. Just Wonder Woman.
Just Wonder Woman in general. If she had her own movie that didn't suck, I would choose that.
It's called the Wonder Woman animated film.
Yeah, the animated one was pretty good.
Yeah, that's true.
And she was in Justice League, so...
My backup pick for that was actually, in case anybody else had actually chosen Wonder Woman for something, my backup pick for leader was Elastigirl from The Incredibles.
because she's the mom, so she can
That's
just
a
yell
good
at
pick
everybody.
too, yeah.
All right. I see where you're going with these. That's a good pick.
I like the imagery of Elastigirl pulling apart She-Go and Kim Possible like she does with her
And
kids.
holding them at arm's length.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was basically the mental imagery I had going for me.
I approve. That's a really solid pick. Wonder Woman is really good for that team.
I thought so too. That's why I picked her because my picks for leader were Wonder Woman, Storm, or Elastigirl.
Storm would be good too.
Storm would be good too.
Yes,
yeah.
she
Well,
would.
she ran the X-Men for a long time.
I think she still does.
I think she might actually still do.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
don't know comic book
I
stuff.
know she's not married to the Black Panther anymore, but I don't know if
that's
she's
sad.
actually leading the X-Men again.
Well, I don't know comic book stuff except for when I sit down and read Wikipedia articles when I can't sleep. So I don't read the comimics. I just read the summaries months after the
I don't
fact.
have that habit of yours, and I feel like I would know a lot more things if I did. But nope,
It's fair.
Okay. So
Xander, go for it.
So my leader was a little tricky.
Oh boy.
My leader breaks the rules.
Hey, wait, what?
But in my eyes,
God,
there is no better
what are you
pick
doing?
to lead a team of superheroes
Xander, where is this going?
than a gentleman by the name of Linkara.
What?
Linkara is a comic book reviewer on the internet. The reason why I picked him for my leader is because the character and his storylines, everything revolving around this character, was based on his actor, his creator. Everything's based around comic books. His characterizations, the storylines, everything is based around comics. He got into comics because of the Teen Titans. He's defeated multiple enemies in his own right. He has led teams of misfit characters to defeat villains. He has led the invasion of a micronation. He defeated an evil entity. It was basically an elder god with logic. He's an adept at magic. He's adept at technology. He has his own spaceship. No one.
If by adept at magic, do you mean Magic the Gathering? Because I don't.
Yeah,
No, I
definitely
mean
does
as
not
in
count.
he uses magic to make toys act like their actual counterparts. He has multiple functioning Power Rangers morphers. He has working sonic screwdrivers. He has built cybermats. He retrofitted the spaceship after defeating its evil captain, who came from an alternate dimension.
So this is like some guy's Mary Sue character.
No, not really. He's
Yeah, it
is.
kind of sounds
How's
like
he a
it.
Mary Sue?
Well, it sounds like they're giving him the same thing as Batman, where he just is brilliant at everything and can magically defeat everybody else.
Well, he is, but he's aware. Here's what I should have explained.
Okay.
Linkara is both a character and basically the pseudonym of the guy that actually created it, the guy named Lewis Lovelock.
Yeah.
He created this character, he created these storylines. It's like stuff I've discussed where, I want to make my own review show. This is all his creation, and he's realized his faults. He had a whole storyline about how his use of magic for negative goals has actually taken it away. He has realized his own faults, and he's a big opponent of the Mary Sue trope and things like that. And he's very, very good at deconstructing these tropes, and that's why I thought he would be perfect to lead a superhero team. I don't know anyone that knows the amount of comic book knowledge that he does, and I just think there would be no better choice to run a team of multi-dimensional comic book characters than Linkara.
Now I'm wishing I'd chosen Stan Lee as like my token person.
I don't know. Stan Lee wouldn't be very good at leading a team.
He's an adorable, crazy old man who invented several of these characters.
He is, but he's a crazy old man. I mean, then we get into Master Roshi territory, and it's just like...
No, Stan Lee's not like that.
Yeah.
Okay,
But yeah, that's my
that
pick.
breaks the rules in a colossal way. However, you argued it convincingly enough that I will allow it. You dick.
I win!
It's like the extreme level of wish fulfillment. I don't think that's...
Yeah.
Like, the guy isn't in and of himself.
Yeah,
Mary
no,
Sue.
he kind of... I am...
Which I hate the
I
term
hate
Mary
the term
Sue
too.
anyway.
It's a terrible term, and I'm sorry for using it, but it was shorthand for the concept I was trying to convey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I get it.
I don't. It's a dumb term.
But I will allow it as well because it was argued
okay,
convincingly.
all right. So we'll accept it.
However, I will, pretend to glare at you
Yeah,
and shake my head.
I'm frowning right now, and that needs to go on
That's
the
all
record.
right. Yeah.
All right. I think I just have, my token girl left now?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
In retrospect, this was a decision where I could have just, I could have used any of my backups from any other, any other role where I was like, oh, no, I didn't get to use Wonder Woman for my leader, and if Hanna hadn't chosen her, I could have made her my token or whatever. I could have thrown anyone in this slot. I'm making a slightly unorthodox pick here, but I'm making it for what I consider to be a calculated reason.
It can't be more unorthodox than Xander.
That's true.
Yeah, right?
No, actually, compared to Xander, this is actually pretty mainstream. For my token character, that's just my token person, I am choosing Catwoman, but I'm choosing the Halle Berry Catwoman from the Halle Berry Catwoman movie.
I approve.
Because...
Continue.
Okay, all right. Well, Catwoman is an extremely skilled gymnast. She's an expert at hand-to-hand combat. She's a stealth expert and a master criminal. She's a great burglar. She's an athlete at peak physical condition. She has, a lot of whips and claws and cool outfits and things she can use. She has an empathic relationship with all types of cats, including, tigers and things. So there's that if they go somewhere where there's cats. And Halle Berry is really attractive. So those are the reasons I'm choosing Catwoman as my...
Those are all very valid reasons.
So you what you did is you picked the Halle Berry Catwoman if the Halle Berry Catwoman hadn't been in a terrible movie.
Yeah, you take that character and put her in any other universe Catwoman's ever existed in. Because that renders her a good character that can do a lot of cool things. I almost chose Silk Spectre from Watchmen, just because, I love Watchmen and I wanted to have some representation in there from that. But
yeah, I'm surprised no one made it in there, but that's all right.
Silk Spectre was one of my listing. She was listed under no powers, actually, and then I was going to choose her as my token. Halle Berry was also under as a potential no powers, but I remembered she is slightly augmented, and she does have some weirdness that's making her better at being a person. So I couldn't use her for that category, and so I threw out my other ideas, which were webcomics characters I liked, and I decided to just have Halle Berry Catwoman. And,
I love it.
all right.
Sweet.
Yeah, I think we all have really good teams here, actually. These team-ups are really
think so,
solid.
We should all put them together and make them go
I
fight
like
crime.
this plan a lot.
yeah.
There's no more crime after 6 months of these teams being active.
Yeah, pretty much.
I want to see all of our snarkers try and get
Right?
along.
Yeah.
Jubilee.
I want to see all of our token girls try and get along.
I think Catwoman would get along with most people. She's nice. She's just kind of snarky.
Yeah. And that was part of the reason, too, why I picked Oracle, is because I love the idea, because Linkar, both the character and the actual guy, are big fans of Gail Simone, and of course Gail Simone is known for writing really, really good Batgirl, Barbara Gordon, Oracle stuff.
Yeah.
I just love the idea of Oracle being in Linkar's spaceship and just running the show, and it just would be awesome to see.
That's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah. But
My only beef with this is that I wasn't allowed to pick Mass Effect characters.
There's going to be drafts where you get to choose them.
Yeah.
I can assure you, I'm working on whatever my next draft... Whatever my next draft thing is going to be, I'm going to make sure that we can use Mass Effect characters in it so that you can have your team.
Because I love them.
Well, I will probably put a limit on how many Mass Effect characters you can choose, but you can
That's
have
okay.
some.
I know their personalities well enough. I can pick pretty much anything.
That's true. Yeah, no, you can use Mass Effect characters in anything, actually.
Yeah, pretty much. One thing I thought I was thinking of while we were talking about this stuff that I should have done if I was more clever about it, and just to piss you off, Nathan, I should have gone with all amalgam comics characters. Because that wouldn't have broken any of the rules.
In the late 90s, DC and Marvel, for once, were willing to work together on a project, and they made Amalgam Comics, which were they just combined two of their characters into one superhero and wrote comics about them. So, they combined, what was it, Wolverine and Batman into some, Dark Claw, and he's just this shitty-looking mass vigilante with massive claws. So, they did a whole bunch of...
That sounds horrifying.
Yeah, it was really dumb. It was a very funny idea. And so, Xander, that actually would have been some expert trolling. My idea for trolling everyone and being a dick was I was just going to use incarnations of Godzilla from every comic he's been in. Because he's been under the DC...
He's been in 4 different
imprints.
Yeah,
he's been under the Marvel label, he's been under the Dark Horse label, he's been under IDW, I believe, and whatever the current...
He's still under IDW,
Are they the people publishing him now?
I believe
Okay.
so,
Yeah, I was just going to choose, 5 Godzillas and Jubilee. But I didn't do that because it would have broken the rules because he didn't start out as a comic character. So I followed my own rules. I want that to go on record. I did follow all my rules.
You sure did, yeah. And I'm just very, very good at arguing the rules.
You got a pass because you were able to argue it convincingly.
You got by on a technicality.
Very, very slim technicality, I might add. So, Hit Girl, Kim Possible and Shigo, Wonder Woman, and Raven. Linkara, Deadpool, Iceman, Oracle, and Rocket Cannon
Plasma
Granny
Cannon
Lady.
Granny Bot.
And then Jubilee, Michonne, She-Hulk, Catwoman, and Miss Frizzle walk into a bar. No.
And the bar promptly explodes in a ball of flame.
Basically, yeah. I think by continuities alone, we're unraveling the universe by putting these people in the same place.
Well, yeah, but again, that's why I picked Linkara, because he would be able to sort a multidimensional rift like that.
All right, then.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, I'll just go ahead and believe you there.
And that's saying something, because I don't take people's word on solving multidimensional rifts.
It's true. That's really something she does on her own time. She's very picky about that. Guys, this was
I don't leave multidimensional rifts to just anybody.
It's true. She doesn't even let me look at them most of the time.
Yeah.
Well, if you observe them, they change.
Well, that's... Everything that's quantum in some way does that. I can't be held responsible for quantum physics.
No, you
That's
can't.
fair.
Yeah. Guys, this was a really good first shallow draft.
It was a really good shallow draft.
I was expecting to be a lot angrier with you than I am, Xander.
Yeah, because I did tell you that my picks are going to be angry, but make you angry. But I don't think they did. They just kind of baffled you, and then when I explained them away, you were actually pretty okay with it.
Yeah, I was expecting either some massive trolling, or you just trying to steal all my characters before I could choose them to see what my reactions would be.
Yeah, I should have done that, but they would have fallen through because I wouldn't have picked any backups because I'm cocky like that, and then you would have gotten the first picks, and I've just been SOL.
Yes, it would have happened differently where I went first and chose everybody before you could get to them.
Yep, right,
Yeah.
basically.
That was really good. Did you guys have any other backups you wanted to mention because they were also good characters or anything?
I have one that I wanted to mention.
Okay.
Actually, I think I have a couple of them. One of my backups, two of my backups, actually, for Token Girl, just in case I needed to get anything else in one of the other categories. I had Violet from The Incredibles.
Nice.
And I had Liz from Hellboy.
Oh, cool.
Oh, very
Liz
nice.
is a good choice. I like her a lot.
She is, yeah.
Liz is fantastic. Basically, anything associated with fire, I am very okay
It's
with.
a little unsettling.
I can't help it. I'm a firebender at heart.
It's true.
Aww. Not all flower,
Not all flablab?
Not all flablab.
Not all flablab,
Not
but most
all-
flablab. That was that hashtag,
Not
right?
all
Was
fire-
yes, all flablab?
Are you trying to make a not all men joke and make it all not all firebenders? Is that where
I was
you're
going to
going?
say not all
Trying,
firebenders are
but
bad.
it's not working.
Yeah. But, yeah, that was a good episode.
Yeah,
so,
we did good, you guys. I'm impressed.
Yeah.
I liked it.
I'm gonna have to come up with other things that we can draft teams for, and I think these are gonna take long enough that they can be their own episodes when we don't have a movie to bitch about or anything.
Right, basically. But, yeah, let's put that into play.
Yeah.
Thank you to our audience for listening along.
If you've got draft ideas of your own, you can tweet them at us, or put them on our Facebook page, or just shout them into the distance, and maybe one of us will hear them. Probably me.
Probably.
Probably me. I've got better ears.
That's true. But I'm...
Or also, if you have a choice as to which of these teams you liked the best,
Oh,
or
that's
any adjustments
right.
you would make to a particular team, go ahead and put those on our Facebook page as well, because we would love to hear some feedback
That's
about
right.
that and see what your ideas are.
Yeah, a bunch of stern reprimands for all of our terrible decisions.
Yeah. Upload your own art of our teams, and whatever gets most likes wins.
What?
Yeah.
Yes,
do it
I
that
love
way.
that plan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm okay with that as long as none of the art is graphic. Because
Oh,
I've
no.
seen too much Kim Possible and Shigo stuff that got really gross and
See, I
strange.
thought you were going to say Miss Frizzle, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh,
is
God!
No,
Oh,
no,
God,
no,
I'm
no,
sure it
no, no,
exists.
no, no, no. I don't want to remember that.
Apparently, you've encountered that in the wild somewhere. I'm just going to
haven't,
pretend
but
I didn't
Actually,
hear
knows?
that.
I
Maybe
actually
Nathan-
have, and I don't.
We've established that Nathan's better at Tumblr than I am, so it goes to it would
Dude, this
make sense to assume that he's seen the worst of it.
this was
more than
before
I have.
Tumblr. This was, I think it was either DeviantArt or just Google image searches with safe search off. I've seen some shit.
That's a bad plan. You don't Google image search with safe search on.
I make bad decisions
It's-
sometimes.
Rule 34, dude.
Like, I know, but I didn't think about it. And then it turns out that I should have thought about it.
Because you say you've seen some shit. Miss Frizzle's been inside the human body. She literally has seen some shit.
But all right, you know what? I'm leaving. I'm just.
I think he's actually walking out this time.
Disgusted, and I'm just gone. Goodbye.
So, thanks for listening, everybody. If you don't know where to find us, we'll make sure you do. And we'll see you next time. Maybe next couple weeks. Who knows?
You don't have any kind of punchline to end this with, do you?
No, I don't. I thought I thought we were just gonna end with just silence, and then it's just Nathan going, "I'm leaving."
I already left though.
But
that was the conceit of the joke was that I was just going to be silent till the end because I'd already gone, and now I'm actively deconstructing the joke on camera, ruining it further,
so to speak.
Yeah, it's not really on camera.
On my
That's all right.
I'm Nathan Soros. He's Xanagrim. She's Black Hole Girl. We are ShallowCast. We will see you next time. And next time, hopefully, I will not have commercials for other podcasts that reach that degree of unsettling.
Nope.
Let's hope.
See you next time.
It'll probably be me next time.
I don't. No, because you find worse things on the internet. So I don't.
I do.
I don't like that at all. God.
Children, if you can't play nice, you can't play together.
But then there's no show.
Good point.
Great. Now she's the mom one too. Excellent.
Better her than me all the time.
True.
All right, we're done. Everybody, shut up and go home.
Go home.
Go home.
That's how I followed that up, motherfucker.
Jubilee!